capacity, commitment, character, so that we can start doing the right thing.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lion Mark TV. Mark here with another exciting, delighting, and much interesting video here on the channel. This one is from Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, and also a very respected man who everybody wants to be obedient to, and like support him come 2023. He paid the Olu Of Warri a visit, and yes, in a regular way, a royalty way, you must have a way of greeting. Either you lie flat on the floor, or you prostrate or you kneel and greet. Anyway, it's royalty, and trust me, no matter your government position or whatsoever, when it gets to that particular stage, or you visit such people, you must accord them that respect for what they are. Anyway, they had a very private meeting. Peter B had a private meeting with the Olu Of Warri and other issues related. That's what I'll be sharing with you in this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Drop a comment in the comment section.
It must be about competence, capacity, commitment, character, so that we can start doing the right thing. We must hire a driver that is qualified to drive this car places. We can no longer afford somebody who is incompetent. Otherwise, we will not be refugees. No country can exist like this. Even our revenue cannot service our debt. We're borrowing more. No country can exist like that. A simple thing like education.
The PIA for me it's an opportunity to get a second wind, lay a foundation for our people. It's been almost 60 years of oil activity in this kingdom and all of the Niger Delta. And no matter what people show you, they will tell you, oh, we have spent almost $20 billion towards infrastructural development in the Niger Delta. All IOCs, everybody will bring that, whatever the figure is. And they are not lying. Money has been assigned for that purpose. The simple question is, do you see $20 billion worth of infrastructure in the Niger Delta? Do you see that in Nigeria at all? The answer is no. So, as a people, we are now trying to lay a new foundation. But we need to carry our people along. It's one thing to say, oh, Your Majesty, please come up with experts. And you can come up with experts. You have the reach and the network to call brilliant minds, Ishekiri, even non-Ishekiris. But there will be that sensitivity, oh, don't bring non-Ishekiris. We have a lot of brilliant Ishekiris who can handle it. Okay, no problem. Chances are, the majority of those brilliant Ishekiri minds are not here on the ground because of the economic reality. They have gone to the big cities. But you see, there's also a situation on ground. There are people who have remained here, who have the passion for development here. Maybe not necessarily the capacity, but they have the passion. And they are adamant that they must be part of that process. And you cannot ignore that. You cannot just bring foreign or diaspora-based Ishekiris and bring them here to say fix the problem because they are so well experienced. They will run into some hitches. So what we are trying to do is to bring that situation to a perfect equilibrium as much as possible, because we need that capacity and we also need the experience and the passion that is on ground here. Finding that balance point and then having this unique vision, blueprint, and from there build. Once again, tying it to the previous point, it's down to the vision of the king. And it's not the king, my ambition, because once again, tying it to your question of monarchy supposed to be a mirror of how things are in heaven. And everything in heaven and earth is God's vision. He is the king there. So everything is as. So that's the same spirit that inspires me to now bring our experts, whether they are here, Lagos, Abuja, London, wherever, and our people passionately to merge it so that we are creating this vision together. And nobody feels, oh, they are not as good, or this one is better than me. We also have to get rid of all that bitterness, because that is also part of Nigeria's problem. And I dare say that for all the problems we're in this country, many grade A solutions have been given to people in government these past 60 years. So it's not like the solution hasn't come, but that hurts, that attitude, that barrier does not allow those solutions even start working. So we are trying to clear that ground in the hearts and minds of our people, so that once this thing is put together, we move. So I'm always stared in the face by how young this nation is in terms of our population breakdown. We are a very young nation, and I think more and more it is important that young people are brought into positions through which they can demonstrate the nimbleness of their minds, not just that they have energy. And something I find is that whether we want to admit it or not, governance in this country is inspired by the traditional institution. And when I say the traditional institution, the idea of what an oga is originally comes from how, if you want to call it ancestors' memory, how we have seen the big man, who usually was the one who sat on the throne. That also informed how the men were the ogas in their house. You are watching how the king did it, so you are now the king in your own house. So when we now became a democracy, as much as it was Western styled, what was in the mind was, this is how the kings rule. Can't talk to them, can't question them, And so traditional institutions, that's the power they wield, even till this day. So when you see real change and inspiration happening in the traditional institutions, for good, it's going to filter its way to state capitals and the federal capital. It will. And so even all this has to be firm, but it has to be gentle. What I have met here is a situation where, yes, there's a lot of elderly people in positions, as it has always been. And sometimes you see the restiveness of the young people who, once again, magnified by the economic situation in the country, are now beginning to almost disrespect the elderly. Some of it is because they are not given the opportunity to demonstrate whatever capacity they may have. Some of it is because they don't have employment. Some of it is because they feel suppressed by the elderly. And so you can't throw away the baby with the bathwater. So we have to come up with creative ways to encourage and propel our youth. And I think that would also inspire, as I said, from the ground up, will further inspire. And that's really why, one of the reasons I think I am here, to inspire, not just Shekiri people, the whole Niger Delta and the whole Nigeria. And I believe we will succeed in that. I was actually impressed, I was humbled that the president actually did take note of what it was that we had presented to him. And when you consider how Nigeria operates, how things may take time, in almost no time, we got feedback from those he had directed to say things were actually in motion. So clearly he did not hesitate in giving directives to the points that were tabled, and that was actually very, very encouraging. And of course, these things are still in process. Some of them have filtered all the way down here. Some of them are still we've been placed on notice. Not that somebody has necessarily come here to do X, Y, Z, you know, but still the president has done his part. He did not sleep on it. He did not put it aside. He took action. And so, of course, that was very humbling that obviously he has respect for this institution. If he had no regard for it, it would have gone to voicemail. But unfortunately, it's going through a system that is the Nigerian government, not the person. The bottlenecks and all that, the back and forth, the technicalities, you know, unfortunately, these things are going through that process. But having said all that, I still have hope for this country. You have to have hope for this country. Because once there is no hope, it's war, it's chaos, it's destruction. You know, everybody may as well just pack up. Go and meet your relatives in Benin, Niger, Cameroon, Ghana, those who cannot afford to fly out. And so we must hold on to that hope. And God willing, as rough as it is now, it feels like Nigeria is going through birth pangs. And usually that means life is about to come out. So it's just for us to hold tight and hold fast, and soon enough, the new Nigeria will come.